Jazzcast Pros.
If you follow me on Threads, you will notice that some of my content last week was wrapped around something that I view as a very historic moment. And if you don't follow me on Threads, please follow me over there. I really enjoy it there. It seems like a nice, cozy hug. But last Tuesday, Monday into Tuesday, maybe? Anyways, Senator Cory Booker did something historic, did something monumental, did something that no one in the history of American politics has done before. And I have a lot of feelings about it. And I wanted to challenge myself this week and see how I could translate the lessons that I took from Cory Booker's speech into entrepreneurship. So that's what we're going to do today. Welcome to High Vibe Table Talks, the podcast to help you, the cautiously ambitious woman, remove mental barriers and take action now so that you can achieve your high vibe desires. I'm Rashawn, your high vibe curator, cheerleader, and accountability partner. If you're like, hey, I am not here for the politics, I have a couple things to say. We are in a very politically divisive moment, and I'm going to stand on my beliefs. And I challenge you to just listen to something that may be opposite of what you believe in, or understand how politics is impacting. I mean, it's making a huge impact on small businesses at the moment. And whether you believe in everything that Cory Booker stands for, I don't. There's no politician that's out there right now that I stand with everything that they say. But I think that the heart and spirit and bravery that it took for Cory Booker is something that we can all take a lesson from. And I think there's a lot of intersectionality between a lot of the things that are happening in today's politics. And so while I am not a, person of color, I'm not a Black woman where some of these things affect exponentially more than me, I want to listen, understand, and come from a perspective of again, I am a cis white female in upstate New York that's in a stable relationship with two incomes. And so a lot of these things aren't necessarily going to affect me, but I can't help but think about people in other situations that this is impacting tremendously more, and my heart aches for them. Anyways, off of that soapbox, the idea is that Cory Booker did something that was so incredible and I found very emotional and very connected to. And I wanted to, again, challenge myself to say, how can I take some of these lessons and pull them into content that you can take away? So if you don't know, Cory Booker is a senator from New Jersey, and he gave a historic marathon speech. It lasted 25 hours and 4 minutes, which is the longest in history. The previous one was 24 hours and 17 minutes, which actually was opposing the Civil Rights Act in 1958, I believe, which was trying to uphold segregation. And so that is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And so to have a Black man stand up there for 25 minutes and break the record of someone who was standing up for racism was just, it gave me chills the entire time. It was incredibly powerful on top of everything else. So I don't think Cory Booker will ever hear this, but thank you so much for the work that you did. And so the first lesson I want to pull out is the lesson of relentless action. We talk a lot on here about aligned action and doing things that feel connected to you and your mission, and showing up when it's hard and when it's uncomfortable. And that's exactly what Cory Booker did. Stand up and do anything for 25 hours. That is the epitome of standing up through discomfort. And at the end, he was so eloquent the entire time. It was so impressive. And he believed so deeply in what he was standing for that he would do that for 25 hours. Really connect to your why. I talk a lot on here about sales and having those conversations that are uncomfortable. And this was such a powerful example of using your voice through discomfort. And we have to go outside of our comfort zones to really make the ripple effects that we can make. I think a lot about my why in sales is connected to the ripple effects that I'm going to make. And so if I help one more person sell something that they feel passionate about, that's going to have this ripple effect into all these other places. And so if I help someone get out and have more conversations, they're going to have this positive impact on other people around them who are then going to have positive impacts around them. And it's this beautiful ripple effect that you can have. So speaking your truth and being aligned and pushing through the discomfort can be difficult. And think about the ripple effects that you're going to have with your message when you are in that discomfort. I've talked a lot of times about perfectionism being procrastination. And so how many times have you held back because you're waiting for your website to be perfect, to find the perfect client, to know exactly what you were going to say? Did he stumble over his words? Absolutely. Did they still have a profound effect? Absolutely. He did not wait for everything to be perfect and to know the exact outcome even of his words. He just knew that he had to stand up and speak. And so it's not about waiting. It's not about everything being perfect. It's not knowing exactly the outcome that your conversation is going to have. It's about showing up through the difficult conversations and taking action. Like I watched it with my daughter. I was like keeping up with it late Monday or throughout the workday Tuesday. And then after I got her off the bus, pretty much until like he finished, my daughter and I watched it together. And it just was so beautiful and powerful. And I really felt such a sense of hope that I haven't felt in a while with the current administration. And there's so many things that are happening that I'm having such a hard time with, but I really felt so hopeful, which was just incredible. The next lesson that I want you to take is just the persistence. We see a lot of other business owners that feel like overnight successes. And I use air quotes if you're listening to this, because we could see, oh my gosh, look at this person who had this incredible launch and they're a multimillionaire like overnight. And we can even see like politicians or like Cory Booker, like, wow, look at how incredible he was this one day. This day was a culmination of a lot of other days added up. He didn't just like wake up one day and turn into the senator that was, had the opportunity to speak on the floor. Like he did a lot of little things that added up to that. He had a lot of hard conversations. He did a lot of studying. He did a lot of understanding of what came before him. He learned from John Lewis and was like, how can I take these lessons from these mentors in my life? During the speech, he even talks about like what he learned from his dad and how that has helped pave the way to where he is today. So it's about persistence and the courage, and that good things will come when you keep showing up. And so you have to consistently, take action, be persistent, put yourself out there, reach out to those prospects, stumble. Just like I saw on Threads, like, if Cory Booker can stand up there for 24 hours, I can go for a walk for 20 minutes. And just really like framing that and taking that into like, I can pitch 5 people. I can make sure I follow up. I can cold email 20 people. Like just reframing the like, who am I into like, why not me? And not fearing the outcome, but taking action anyways, and really having that persistence is like so impressive. So that's kind of idea number 2 that I really took from that speech that I'm going to take into my business here on out. Step number 3 is like how powerful community is. If you watched, he showed up and he had 10 binders. Like, I think they were like 4 or 5 inch binders, and he had 10 of them prepared for his speech. And so like he walked in and he knew what he was doing, but he didn't create all 10 of those binders himself. His staff and his community, his people, the people behind him had such a profound effect on him being able to show up. And it was such a testament to what you can do when you say yes to community. Like he kept talking about how when him and his staff, him and his team said yes to doing that, they all had to rally together. And so create that community, lean on your community, be empowered by your community. Like I think he only got to like 5 or 6 of the binders. So he had so much more material than he needed. But that was because he leaned in to his community. He leaned into the people who believed in him and empowered him. And it was very much like this group effort. Even though we saw him, he didn't do it alone. And a lot of times we think we have to do this alone. We have to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we have to, no one can do it as well as I can. Do you know how long it would have taken him to put together those 10 binders? I mean, it would have been years on top of everything else he had to do. But he turned around and said, what can we do to have this powerful conversation? You know, he didn't do it alone. Lean into your community. Again, like, he was prepared. Like, I'm not saying show up to every event like ill prepared, or like you don't have to prepare at all. Like, even though he had those binders, again, he still fumbled over his words. He still was not like perfect in his reciting of what was in those binders. And so I'm not saying don't show up unless you have 10 binders worth of stuff to talk about, because that's not fair, but lean into your community and also show up imperfectly, which sometimes can feel like at friction with each other, but I know that you'll find the right balance. One of the things I think that is the most powerful is, what would your 25-hour speech be about? You know, when I have taken a while to, and Jazzy, my producer, and I have done a lot of work around kind of niching down to what this podcast is and what I feel really strongly. And if you have heard much of my content lately, it really has honed in on sales. And that felt weird for me to talk a lot about initially. And I felt like there's so many other things I can help people with. And yes, there is a lot out there that we can talk about, but like, I can sit and talk and hope and empower and inspire people about like sales and building a business that's aligned with yourself for hours and hours and hours. And what is the message that you believe so deeply in that you're willing to show up for it over and over and over again? You know, mine is very much like, if you don't sell, you don't have a business. Don't build a life around your business. Build a business that supports your life. And that selling is being of service to your calling. And these are all kind of spokes on the same wheel. And they're things that I will talk over and over and over again. Obviously, that's, if you listen to this podcast, you're like, okay, yep, I've heard that before, heard that before. But I truly, truly believe in it. And, you know, one of the things I have been thinking about with all kind of like the turbulence that is going on in our economy is like, it doesn't make me want to like shut down and be like, well, I can't go out there and build a business because there's who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like, I need to help people go out and build businesses and lifestyles that can support them through the turbulence that we're currently seeing. And if you can sell, you have a lot of power over decisions that are happening in your life, because they're just such transferable skills. And they are things that a lot of people do feel uncomfortable with. And so if you can put yourself in those uncomfortable situations and push through and shed a lot of the narratives that I think we are stuck with around like selling is icky, selling is coercive. If you can change all that, then you can change a lot of things. So I hope that Cory Booker was inspiring to you. This episode was inspiring to you. And whatever you believe in, whatever you like feel really called to do, like Cory Booker felt really called to be of service through being in government. And he felt really called to make that speech and break that record. And so I just want to empower you to do whatever you feel called to do. And if you need support and community in selling whatever it is your offer is, then join my Sales Prospecting Simplified course. I would love to have you. We do prospecting power hours every week, and it is 3 modules. I think it's really impactful because at the end of the day, we just need to be having more conversations with more people. I actually have someone who's in it right now, and they just messaged me last night saying that she sent out 20 messages during our prospecting power hour on Wednesday, and she got 2 responses already, and that was 2 days ago. So it's really exciting. Things are happening. She's having more conversations with people about her offer, and people are biting. And so it's exciting. And I would love to have you join as well. Next episode is really exciting. I interviewed this woman, Allie Fell, and we talked all about sales. Her and I have similar energies and ideas around selling. And so I wanted to get her perspective. We had a wonderful conversation. She is just a ball of light, and I can't wait for you to listen. So definitely check in next time to hear from Allie about sales. Until next time, remember that big dreams and small steps will transform your life.